Hello dear students. Today in second semester we are going to have a look at unit number 5, which comprises of how one can write different styles while writing paragraphs. So nature and style of writing, that is the title of this unit, and we will move ahead and see various kinds of paragraphs that are included in this unit. The first type of paragraph that is included is defining. We will also have look at two other kinds of paragraphs, that is describing and classifying. There are multiple types of paragraph writing and paragraph styles that are existing, but for your understanding and for your syllabus, only three of them are included, which we are going to have a look in a very deeper sense. So let's begin with the first one, that is defining paragraph. What is defining? First of all, as you can see, this word definition comes defining, it comes from definition, and definition comes from the verb, that is define. What do you mean by define? When we say I'm defining this, it means I'm telling the meaning of the word that is given to me, or I'm describing some of the basic qualities of something. Say, for example, if someone asks me about a word, for example, jealousy. So I need to explain what jealousy is by giving the meaning of that word. And I can also explain, or I can also define the word jealousy by showing some of the basic qualities, some of its characteristics, some of its traits, also with some good examples. In this way, the definition of that particular word becomes clear. When a student enters into a completely different field of study, he or she encounters various kinds of vocabularies throughout the semester or throughout their study life. So during that time, your teachers are always defining the terms that you are hearing for the first time. There would have been first time when you had come across the word combustion. There would be the first time when you had come across the word kinetic energy. And then your teachers explain that word to you. How? By giving the definition. In definition, there are certain words used which are actually the meaning of the real word that you want to define. And apart from this, they also give you some example, show some experiments with which the meaning of that word becomes very much clear to you. See the further definition. According to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, if you write this thing in examination, this will be very helpful to you. The question could be asked of two types. First is, in examination, the question could be like this. What do you mean by defining paragraph? What do you mean by descriptive or classifying paragraph? In that, you are not supposed to write any kind of defining or descriptive paragraph, but you have to write the definition of that particular thing. So at that time, you are going to write what is written over here. And if you clearly explain the definition of the given word by some authentic books or authentic source, you are going to emphasize your answer a lot and it will become qualitative. Another type of question that could be asked, a topic would be given to you that could be of defining, descriptive, or classified paragraph, and you have to write a paragraph on that particular topic that is given. Or else, the examiner could also ask you to write one topic or one paragraph on any of your favorite topic which reflects defining paragraph, descriptive, or classifying paragraph. So these are the two ways in which the question could be asked. So it is not so that you should not study the introductory part and you should know how just to write a paragraph. No. Application based question, that is any paragraph, could also be asked by giving you a topic, or they might ask you the definition of types of paragraphs also. So you need to be ready to encounter both these types of questions and should not worry or should not stress yourself by looking at such kind of questions. Okay, so when this question is asked, you can emphasize or make qualitative answer by writing this. There's in Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, the definition means an explanation of the meaning of a word or phrase. Any word is given to you or any phrase is given to you, and you are explaining the meaning of that word or phrase. Especially, where do you find such kind of definitions? Yes, in a dictionary. A definition paragraph is essentially a definition sentence. Yeah. Usually, when you ask someone what is the definition of this word, what is the definition of mass communication, what is the definition of organizational behavior, then that person is going to give you answer in usually one sentence. But when you have to write an entire paragraph on that, you have to elaborate those words which you have used in that one sentence of defining that particular word. So so it is a definition sentence which has been expanded into paragraph by adding special meanings, description, narration, and other kinds of paragraph development in order to clarify the term being defined. If I explain you what is organizational behavior, an organizational behavior is a behavior which one must follow when they are into a professional setting or when they are working in an organization or an institute. This could be the definition, but this is only a definition sentence. Now, same thing if I want to explain in terms of paragraph, I have to elaborate everything that we have written or I have given you in the definition sentence. I have used words like organization, institute, behavior, professional. So I have to explain those things. I have to expand those ideas more clearly in the further sentences. And in this way, I have to make a full paragraph out of A. We will see how it is made with the examples that are coming ahead. These are some of the tips that you must follow when you are writing a definition paragraph. First is you have to write a topic sentence. Topic sentence, as I have already given an example, organizational behavior is a behavior that one must follow in a professional setting, especially an organization or an institute. So here, whatever words I am using, these words are used to define the word or the particular term. So I have used various words or phrases. Now, whichever words or phrases that I have used or have chosen that come into my topic sentence, and then I have to elaborate them in the next sentence, then the next, and then the next. These things will become clear once you look at the example. See, in about one sentence, explain your first defining word phrase by telling why this word phrase define your subject. Now, why this is so? Let us see an example. Definition paragraph developed by examples. Here I have taken definition or explanation of the term love. There are few things that you are going to laugh at when you read this paragraph, which I have taken from this source, but I thought that this is the best paragraph for you to understand the meaning of this word very clearly. See, for me, the word love means trust, friendship, and unselfishness. So here the writer, while explaining about love or giving definition about love, have used the three terms. That what is love? So love is trust, it is friendship, and it is unselfishness. Now, what does the writer do after looking at or after giving this kind of terms, that is trust, friendship, and unselfishness? He has to explain or he has to provide proof or supporting sentences which prove that these three words actually define what is love. So, see, first of all, look at the phrase that is used. This is also known as connector. It is also called transitional words, or this is also called conjunctions. These are also the words which shows coherence. Coherence means they logically connect the first sentence with the second, second with the third, and fourth, and this way till the conclusion. So the first thing that they use is first of all. So observe this phrase, first of all. Love means was trust. Because when you trust someone, you can talk to him or her about anything. Okay, so that is why he has explained this word. Love is what? Trust. Why trust? Because when it is trust, you can talk to him or her about anything. Now, to support his definition even more, to support this word, he gives an example and he says, I trust my girlfriend 100%. It is because I trust her that I know I can tell her anything, and that is why I love her. So he is giving reason through an example that he loves his girlfriend. Why? Because he trusts her and he knows very well that he can tell anything to her. Look at the next word that is used, furthermore. So it is used first of all, and furthermore means next. I believe that love means friendship. Here it is. Okay, love is friendship, something that was also said years back in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Pyar Dosti Hai. Yes, so love is friendship because the people who you spend time with are your friends. And if you do not love them, then why would you hang out with them? Okay, so this is the way he gives the definition of love. That it is friendship. because it is friendship. Why? Because if that person is your friend, you love to spend time with them, and if you don't love that person, why would you spend time with them? To illustrate, look at this. First here, which word was used? For example. Now which word is used? To illustrate. I love my two best friends because they are like brothers to me. We are always laughing and protecting each other. So he is showing that he loves his best friends. Why? Because they are his friends, and friendship means love. Then he uses the word finally. See, first of all, furthermore, now it is and because you have to talk about the third term that you have used. So finally, love means unselfishness, means a selfless behavior. Because when you love someone and they love you back, there should always be sharing. Unselfishness means not thinking only about yourself but also to think about other person whom you love. So if you love a person, obviously you're going to share your things with that person. Now he uses the word for instance. So for example, to illustrate, and see here, for instance, my next door neighbor's wife never shares anything with her husband. Okay, so he's saying my neighbor's wife is not sharing anything with her husband, such as food, drinks, or possession, whatever thing she has. I sure do not see a whole lot of love there. He gives a very strong example of the neighbors of a couple, that if someone is in love, he or she has to share or has to be very selfless in their behavior. But the neighbor's wife is not sharing anything with her husband. That means she is very selfish. She is not having unselfish behavior towards her husband. So if you are selfish for the other person, there is no love in your relationship. So at the end, he says, for me, love means the above three things. Which three things? Trust, selfishness, unselfishness, and friendship. Now, how this entire idea is developed, we are going back to the second slide. See, write one topic sentence that mentions the element that you will define and be sure to provide three key defining words or phrases. And that is what was done. In about one sentence, explain your first defining word. Yes, that we did. Love is what? Love is trust. So we defined trust and then give an example. We gave an example. Then you have to use second defining word. And what was it? It was friendship. So it was defined. An example should be given. Example was given. Third phrase was unselfishness. It was defined. An example was given, and one closing sentence was used. So this is also one method in which you can try describing a term or phrase. Let us see some other tips. Whenever you want to define something or want to use definitive terms, at that time you can use such kind of phrases. For example, dash is defined as, let me use the word jealousy. Jealousy is defined as a human behavior. Okay, the jealousy is understood to be a human behavior which jealousy signifies that jealousy means that a person is jealousy denotes means shows jealousy suggests that jealousy connotes and then jealousy is. So there are various ways or various terms that you can use in your paragraph, that is actually a definition paragraph. So there is one more example that is given related to definition, but this defining paragraph is using description method in which a feeling is described. Like the feeling of anger is described. What is it? Anger is a feeling of hatred towards someone or something. Now you have to develop this paragraph. Here you are not using various words or different words like we had used in the previous paragraph for defining. Like to define love, we use different words like unselfishness, friendship, or trust. Here, such kind of words are not used in the first sentence. So, what is your duty here? You have to explain the characteristics of this word. What are the qualities of this word? That what it is actually. So, it is what? It is a feeling of hatred. Towards whom? Someone or something. Now, it is said that this one of the basic emotions, it is dangerous if not controlled. Person can become angry when. So here it is given why they become angry. Examples are given. how mentally anger can affect yourself or your body physically or affect you mentally, and how a person can control the anger. If anger is controlled, what are the benefits? If it is not controlled, what are the troubles you are going to face? Okay, so this way you can describe, or no, you can develop the ideas. But this is limited to defining a phrase. You just take a word and then you are explaining what that word is in the entire paragraph. Okay, you can take a screenshot or you can also pause and read this paragraph in detail. Going ahead, next kind of paragraph is describing. Know the difference? The first one was defining, where you take a word and you define that. Next is describing. What we are doing in describing paragraph, very easy. Descriptive paragraphs are often used to describe what a place or an object or a person looks like, or what a person looks and acts like. Here you are taking one particular thing, or you are taking a place, or you are taking a person, and you describe that place, person or thing completely. What work that person does, who is that person, how does he looks like. If you're taking an object, you have to describe that object completely. What is that object, for what it is used, who has developed it, who are the people who can use that object. If you are describing a place, you have to take a place, you have to show where it is geographically located, who are the people who use that place, how many people come over there, for what purpose that place is famous for, what are the attractions of those place, what kind of work is going on over there. So these are the different things you can mention. So here you take a place or object or a person and then you describe them in detail. And your description should be so much perfect that a person reading your description, or if you are narrating your description, the other person, whether a reader or a listener, should get a mental picture of what you are saying. Let's give a try. I'm going to say some sentences and let's see what kind of effect it has on you. I went to a place. In that place, I saw that there was a vast field. In that vast field, there was a small house. The house comprised of only two or three rooms. Outside the house, there was a garden. In that garden, on the right hand side, there were lilies. On the left hand side, there was a small pool. I could see that the border of that house was having palm trees. On the top of that hut or that house, there were two owls sitting. I could also see that the clouds have gone grey in color and there was thunder and it was about to rain. Suddenly, I saw that there was a tiger coming from behind that house. Now, when I was narrating this thing, I hope you people have started imagining or started constructing that house, that garden, that place in your imagination. You might be having the mental picture of that place already in your mind while I was narrating it to you. So your narration should be in that form, or your description should be so strong that the person who is reading it should have a mental picture of that place in their mind, and that person can visualize the image, can visualize whatever you have written it on the piece of paper. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, so here a description is given of a person whose name is Jack Collins. Who is that person? So Jack Collins is the most amazing person I have ever met. So with this, you just come to know that he is a person and who is an amazing person. No mental picture. He came to my school and talked about his difficult life in prison. Okay, so description about the person is that person has gone where to the school and he was talking about what, how he has lived his life in a prison. So we come to know that that person would have been criminal at some point of time. He was in prison for 15 years. Now suddenly your mental picture might have changed, how that person would be looking who has come out of jail after 15 years. He made a lot of mistakes when he was young, but now he has changed his life. So we are going across, or we are coming to know about the qualities of that person. What kind of person he is. He was a criminal, he was in prison, but now he is a good fellow. He saw a lot of violence in prison, so he uses his experience to help secondary school students. So Jack Collins, when was in jail or in prison, he saw so much of violence around him in the prison. So when he is out, what is he doing? He is using his experience that he had in the jail, and now he was helping secondary school students to understand what type of things are going behind the bars. Jack is tall and strong. So till here we had seen who was Jack Collins. Who is Jack Collins? What is his profession? What is he doing? And now we are moving towards the physical features of Jack Collins. That Jack Collins is how he is tall and strong. This is what his looks are. He also looks a little scary because he has some spider tattoos. So if there is a person, or especially students or children, they look at this man, they are a bit scary. So Jack Collins looks scary. उसको देख के डर लगता है क्यों? Because he has spider tattoos on his body. So now you can imagine a person who is tall, who is strong, and having spider tattoos. The thing I remember most is his sensitive personality. So we come to know how is he as a person. Till here we were knowing him as a person whose profession, what is his profession, what was his past, then we saw his physical features. Now we are looking at the point what kind of person he is by nature. He really wants to help young people. I have never met anyone like Jack before. So, here in this entire paragraph, we can see that a person named Jack Collins is described. And to describe that person, we have used what kind of profession he has, what is his past, what he does at present, how does it look like, and what kind of nature does that person have. Okay, so through this, you can also write description of various places and objects also. Here, an example is given of a place, that is Bali. You can take a screenshot, you can have a look at how it is written. I'll just point out few things in this paragraph. We all know that Bali is an island in Indonesia, but when the writer describes what Bali is, or how Bali is, and why visiting Bali is inevitable for us, he describes these things by using certain adjectives. No doubt, he mentions the attractiveness of the place. He shows why you should visit Bali, what kind of island it is, the food, the culture, the places worth visiting. But how does he describe them? Just have a look. He talks about volcanoes and uses the word looming volcanoes. Beaches are there, but beautiful beaches. Terraced rice fields are there, but lush terrace rice fields are there. Peace and serenity is there, but exude peace and serenity means something at a very higher and strong level. How are people? Warm and friendly people. See again. Dances are there, but dramatic dances. Ceremonies, colorful ceremonies. Arts and crafts, amazing arts and crafts. Beach resorts, luxurious beach resorts. Nightlife, but what kind of nightlife? Exciting nightlife. So this way you can make use of adjectives, and you can very easily describe a place, object, or a person. So you can have a look at this paragraph before we move ahead. So till now we have seen two types of paragraphs, that is descriptive paragraph and defining paragraph. Further in the next lecture we will be having look at the classifying paragraph or classification paragraphs, which are really important and most of the times they are asked in examination. Till then, go through these paragraphs and try more and more paragraphs from the previous examination question papers. Have a nice time.